I'm going to tell a story that's illustrative of the positive effects of school culture on early career teacher resilience, and I'm going to talk about Jasmine, who is a secondary teacher who graduated in the middle of 2008. And like many beginning teachers, she experienced two different schools in her first year. In her first school, she received very little support, and by the end of the time she hadn't even spoken to the principal, and this contrasted quite strongly with her second school. So she was fortunate enough to win a permanent position at her second school. And her experience of that school culture was completely different. In terms of the principal, she met him right at the beginning at the interview. He was part of the interview panel, as were other school leaders. And once she had accepted the position, he and other school leaders gave her a very intensive induction. It started before the beginning of the school year. She and other beginning teachers were taken in and shown all the ins and outs of the school in a very intensive program. The support continued through meetings, regular meetings, right through the school year, and some of those meetings actually occurred in the local coffee shop, so it was meetings between the leadership team and the young teachers. So Jasmine developed quite a close and personal relationship with the principal and other school leaders right from the beginning. The other wonderful thing for Jasmine was that the school had a deliberate focus on creating a culture of community and care for both the students and the staff. This comprised things like, for instance, there was a school-wide approach to student wellbeing and behaviour, which was focused on people taking responsibility for their actions, and a lot of backup from the leadership team. The staff were encouraged to join cross-discipline learning teams so that they mixed freely with people from other disciplines. There were 3 meetings before school every week where the whole staff got together and shared information. And as a result of that, Jasmine found that in the staff room, everyone mixed together, that it didn't matter which discipline you're in, that she was receiving offers of help and support from people from across the school. The other things that added to that wonderful school culture were that there were regular social events, and they always celebrated things like birthdays, and the leadership team made a point of actually giving affirmations in the form of cards and little gifts, etc., to people regularly, so acknowledging good work and initiative and things like that. So by the end of her first 6 months in the school, Jasmine was really thriving. She felt like a welcome member of the school. She was teaching well. She'd been given a leadership opportunity where she was actually writing curriculum at a state level for her particular area, and in every respect you would have thought that she was a very resilient young teacher. At that point, what happened was that she experienced some serious trauma in her personal life, and that could have been her undoing. She was so distressed that she could easily have dropped the bundle, gone into a downward spiral. But because there was such support in the school, and particularly because she had such a close relationship with the principal, he was able to immediately offer her time off that helped her in that situation. He gave her access to counselling services should she need them, and more importantly, he regularly personally checked on her welfare. And as a result, although it was a very hard time, she actually was able to sustain her teaching and keep up her work in the school throughout the year. And I think otherwise, if the school had stopped the support, thinking after the first few weeks that, she'd be fine, she may well have floundered. And I think what that's telling us in our project is not just how important the school culture is, but what an absolutely critical role it appears that the principal and the school leaders play in shaping that culture. And I think that's something that has certainly been found by many other researchers, some in England. So that's the story about Jasmine.